What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here. Today, discussing a pickup that I made at the 101 trade night. Kind of just talking about that a little bit. Uh, Traded for a card, sold a card, and then also have a mini mail day. I got a package in the mail that I want to talk about as well. So, like, comment, subscribe, guys and girls, know the drill. Saturday night, 101 Sports Cards up in Strongsville, Ohio, had their trade night. They do these probably about every 3 months or so. I think I've been to every single one that they've done. It's about an hour drive for me. They have a very nice storefront and also do a lot of breaking on IG, whatnot, etc. All the normal card shop stuff. Steve, the owner, really good guy. Got a chance to catch up with him for a little bit as well, which is always great. But they do a great event. They do a bunch of giveaways, a bunch of trivia, just a great atmosphere, decent space, nice modern shop, lots of places to sit, good crowd. It was packed. It started at 6. I got there about 20 after, and it was slamming. Good mix of kids and adults, so you get a little bit of both ends of the spectrum. And for those that have never been to a trade night before, essentially there's basically half the room sits down where they could get space, usually opens up their case, lays out a few pieces of eye candy, things that they want to move that might be, bring people down to your table. And then the rest of the people just kind of roam around, and then you just basically walk up and say, hey, I'm interested in that card you got sitting there. You kind of take a look at the rest of your stuff. You want to look at my stuff? And then you exchange cases and off and running. A lot of people will just come buy at trade nights. A lot of people will sell at trade nights, and a lot of people trade at trade nights. But you get a wide gambit. You never know what you're going to get at a trade night when you first slide someone else's cases across the table from you. It will go from, a kid that just has a bunch of a low end base rookies and top loaders, which is great, to a kid that slides a case across from you and he has like a $30,000 collection in there. You really never know. So you can't judge a book by its cover at a trade night for sure. So I went into this one, and a lot of times people ask me when I go to shows and trade nights, hey, what are you looking for? What do you have your eyes open for? And my general answer is just something that catches my eye. Other than the National, I usually don't go in with a plan, like a specific set of, hey, there's this specific card that I'm looking for. Usually it's more sport based. Like at this, I was looking to potentially trade for football, Burrow, Herbert, Allen, etc., just because the Nationals coming up, and that would be good things to have on hand. So if I could move out of something that I wasn't necessarily, as attached to move into something football that I thought would be more liquid, I would do that. And then, you're just always generally looking for cool stuff that catches your eye. You never know what's going to pop up. And as I was walking around, someone had their case flipped open. Myself and one of the other local dealers, Steven, was walking past, and he was eyeing this up too. He took a little pass on it to let me make a run on it first, so shout out. And guy had the card up in. So I said, hey, where you at on that? He gave me the price. I checked comps real quick because I was not familiar with comps on this card at all. And he was pretty in line. He was very close to about what it should be going for. And I said, I'm interested in that. Would you mind flipping through my stuff? And he said, sure. And he pulled out a bunch of different stuff. And we did a trade plus cash deal. And the card in question is one that has been much ballyhooed and discussed on the channel for a while. And we can knock this one off the list. We have our first, maybe not last, we'll see, 58 Jim Brown rookie in an SGC 3. Once again, I saw this card sitting there. I was not expecting to run into a Jim Brown rookie. It's not unheard of just because, Cleveland. So you'll see a lot of this sort of stuff there. But to see the actual rookie floating around and out for trade is not something that you see a lot of. Obviously, super off-center, duh. But in terms of presentation, it presents really well. The card itself is extremely clean. as in like the coloring is really good. Some of these look really blurry or faded. It's got a little bit of that, but that's to be expected to a degree. But this one overall, very clean. The edge lines also, not very rough. Corners are a little soft, etc., but it's not like chipped, beat up, anything like that. The black color is very good. The color in general is all really good. The back also looks really, really clean. There's maybe a little bit of staining down here or yellowing. It's hard to tell. Little rough cut at the top, but once again, corners look really good for the most part. This one's obviously beat up and stuff, but it's an SGC3. But centering was what really was the death of this card. Just on presentation alone, I'll get it a little closer there for you guys and girls. Let me get it in focus. Just a great looking card. I mean, it just really pops. It really, really pops. And once again, I've been critical of the SGC case a lot over the years, but stuff like this, they nail it on vintage. Vintage looks really good in this stuff, and this card looks fantastic in this slab. People were asking me already on IG, are you going to reholder it? What are you going to do with it? I'm not touching this card. It is not leaving this holder. It is staying right in here. It looks really good in the slab. And honestly, I didn't dig too deep into the comps, but most stuff like this, SGC to PSA, usually sells pretty close to each other. So that was the only trade that I made. Oh, and I guess I should say, what did I actually give up for this? Well, I moved one of my Soto pinks. PSA 10 Soto pinks. They're going for between $9 and $9.50 right now. So I did one of those. He was asking $15 on this, which the last two sales were $1,600 and $1,300. And they were a while ago in an SGC3. I looked at grades higher and lower. Seemed in line. I think a Ford recently sold for just under $2K. So for this to be at 15 seemed perfectly fine. So I traded the Soto pink and $600 cash, or PayPal, but that's cash, for this. And we were valuing the Soto at like $9 to $9.50. You wanted to get a little bit of a sweetener on the deal since it was trade, since it was a Jim Brown rookie. That's not something you always necessarily want to use as trade bait. More so, you want to. There's certain cards that you're okay trading away, and there's certain cards that you want cash on. And I get why this was like a cash card for him. Completely makes sense. So he probably got like $15.50 value out of it, give or take. And I have the 58 Jim Brown, first Jim Brown rookie in my collection. Hopefully not the last. And I was fine with that deal. I still have two Soto pinks. Well, I have one now, but I had two. That's why I traded the one away. I was perfectly willing to move it. And kicking in cash was not a big deal, because if I'm going to kick in cash on something in a down market, it's going to be something like this. I have no problems doing that on a Jim Brown rookie. I could have potentially just bought it outright for $1,500, but when he found something that he was willing to trade for it, why not take some of the burden off there and swap it out? So this card will go into the case. This is not something I am looking to move at all. This will probably get tucked away with like the LeBron refractors and the Jose Ramirez Chief Wahoo patch back there, and just kind of sit and collect dust for a very, very long time. Unless, I shouldn't say that. I would potentially use it to upgrade into another one, but I would almost just rather keep this and move something else to upgrade into another one. These cards are obviously always very desirable in this market, just because I am in Northeast Ohio. So other moves that I made. I sold a very low-end Marvel slab, just one of the comic images from McFarlane for like $20. I have no idea what comps even were on it. It was like a PSA 7 or PSA 8 or something. It was one of the Prism ones. Really cool looking card. And the guy just wanted it because it was a cool looking card. So I said, just give me $20. Move that. And then the other big deal-ish that I made, you saw it on the mail day video last week. The Jose Ramirez 101 Majestic patch, I sold. I liked the card a lot. I just wasn't in love with the patch. So I got a strong offer on it, and that was part of the reason why I got it. I much prefer the Chief Wahoo patch that's in the background there to the 101 that I got. It's just a better looking card, and it's the Chief Wahoo versus the Majestic patch. Wasn't like it was an MLB logo, man. So I moved that for $750 cash. I actually sold it to the store owner. because he wanted it for PC / putting it in the display case. Because for him, he's right outside of Cleveland. It's a no-brainer card for him. And like I said, I got $750 cash for it. I bought it for like $525 shipped with taxes and the whole 9 yards like a week ago. So I made a quick $225 on that. And it is what it is. It's a 101. That doesn't necessarily apply to the they let you buy them back rule. But it was a card that I liked, but I wasn't like in love with it, if that makes sense. And part of the reason that I got it is I thought I would like it more. And then also I knew if I didn't, it would be the easiest trade bait in the world, just given my local marketplace. Jose Ramirez 101 is something that I can move and trade extremely easily or sell in this case. So, he offered me the $750 cash. We went back and forth just very quickly in negotiations, but immediately settled on that number fairly fast. And for my purposes, it put $750 cash back in my pocket to take to Indianapolis this week. I don't necessarily need the money, but frees me up to potentially make some other moves if something fun walks across my plate in Indy. So I sold that one off for the quick flip on that. And then that was pretty much it. Vibes were really good. Like I said, very upbeat, fun evening. Highly recommend going to a trade night. If you don't have a trade night, talk to one of your local LCSs. If they have the space for it, tell them to run one. I don't know how good or bad it is business-wise for the shop, but it brings a lot of people in the doors. It gives the shop a lot of opportunity to potentially buy, and just gets people familiar with you, kind of build that community around the shop. So always great times up there. I will go to all the ones that they run as long as it works into my schedule. So, and now it's on the Indy. So we'll see what that brings. I don't know what the trade night situation is for that show quite yet. I got to dig into that, but I will be there all day Friday and Saturday. So excited to check that show out and see what that brings and what the market vibes are like. It definitely seems like people are hesitant to put cash into play, but people still want to be involved. So that's where trading comes into play. Not great if you're a dealer setting up to sell because you're just shuffling inventory around and that doesn't pay for gas to go to shows and whatnot. But you can still have a lot of fun in the hobby, just circling around inventory and occasionally ejecting and taking small amounts of cash in and out of the marketplace. Maybe we'll kind of make a separate video kind of discussing that. But so that is that. The other thing that I want to talk about, I got a package in the mail this week. Friend of the channel. Let me zoom this back out a little bit. Friend of the channel, Reggie Collects. I've been on his show. If you follow the comic book side of things, I have been on his show a handful of times now. Reggie, is launching his own publishing division. Swolger Publishing is his publishing house. He's also done a book in the past, The Guide to Smart Comic Collecting, which I was featured in a little teeny tiny paragraph, kind of talking about the mixed medium of collectibles as a whole. So it was absolutely great working with him on that. It's always fun to team up with Reggie on stuff. And he sent me a little care package in the mail because his first comic book is coming out soon and it is up for order. Now, it is a mystery comic with a little sci-fi fantasy twist, investigating some murders. I have a preview edition. It's a little mini ashcan version. The artwork is absolutely fantastic. I love this cover. Just this black with just absolutely fantastic cover. Adelia Gunderson is the cover artist on this, and it just looks absolutely fantastic. And Doug Bratton, who I've been on Reggie's show with, is the writer of this. So if you're interested in sci-fi mystery comics or stories, go check out Reggie Collects, and you could give it a little pre-order over there. They do fantastic work. I can't flip through it. I'm under strict orders. No spoilers. Not show the inside. But the cover alone is absolutely fantastic, and I read through the little preview part, and is definitely very, very interesting. And that mystery isn't even necessarily my thing, but it was intriguing, and I wouldn't mind knowing what happens. So I'll probably have to end up pre-ordering a full issue or the run once it all comes out. So you can check this out over at reggiecollects.com. Absolutely gorgeous cover. That artwork is just fantastic. It really pops on that black with the hatchet and the reflection, if you will, in the side of it. So go check that out if you're interested in mystery stories. And if you're not subscribed to Reggie Collects and you're at all if you're looking or slash thinking about wanting to dive into the comic book side, probably one of the best comic book YouTubers that there is from an education standpoint. Just if there is a topic that you were curious about in regards to getting into comics, and you go to Reggie's YouTube page and search for that topic, I will guarantee you will find at least 3 videos on it. Whether it's how to grade, how to get started, how to whatever, anything, how to and comic books, search for it on Reggie's page, and the answer will probably be there in multiple video form. He puts out absolutely fantastic content, and like I said about the privilege of being on his channel a couple different times now, and I actually may get a chance to finally meet him in person at HeroCon in Charlotte in a couple weeks, so I'm looking forward to that as well. So that is all I have for you guys and girls today. Like, comment, and subscribe, all that jazz. Coming up for this week, really quickly, I have a general better idea of content-wise. I will be doing the CSG interview on Tuesday. That'll go up Wednesday or Thursday. The other thing that I would like to do is kind of dig into Prism Football single prices on 2021 so far and how that market is shaking out. And then maybe we'll just kind of do like a chit-chat video about the whole current state of the hobby with the buying, the selling, and the trading, and people not necessarily wanting to put cash in, but shows still being busier and overall interest and that sort of stuff. So maybe we'll just kind of have a little talk piece on that. So that's all I have for you guys and girls. Catch you on the next one. Peace.